investing, okay, and you're not withdrawing it for 20 years, remember, years of contribution 20, withdrawal start date 65. Those were the critical factors which left you with so much in there. So that's the reason I wanted to show you the safe withdrawal calculator. There's another calculator I've done, which is also one that I like. It's portfolio stress testing. Now, I like this because let's say, it doesn't matter how little you've got or how much or whatever. Let's say you start off with, again, 250,000 for argument's sake, and you want to withdraw 4% per annum because somebody somewhere on the internet told you that's a safe amount. And let's say your annual gain is, well, let's go crazy and assume the S&P 500 does what it's done over the last 15 years, which obviously it won't. And the volatility is 15%, years in retirement, 30 years, inflation rate 2.5%, annual fees, whatever you're paying is that, starting age 65. Work your own tax out. So I'm going to put 0% tax for now, okay, because it's all in a pension pot. Let's run the stress test. There's a 99% probability sustainable real income would be only 9,980. Okay, why? Why? Well, the reason is you started with a small amount and you're withdrawing 4%, okay, and it works out what would happen if you got a lot of bad years first. What happens if you got the good years first? If you got the good years first, you'd end up with 22 million. If you got bad years, you'd only end up with 5 million. Okay, and it shows you the median scenario, and it actually breaks it down that much, and you withdraw 10,000. Those are the fees, taxes it's put in there as well, and then it works out how much you're left with. And what if you withdrew you got some of the bad returns, even though your average return is 15% per annum. Okay, what if you got some of the bad years first? So it goes into all of that as well if you got the bad years. So it's called the Portfolio Stress Test and Sequence of Returns Calculator. Gives you the best and worst scenarios. You can even export. It's all free. It's all completely free. Okay, and you just go to alpeshpatel.com/links to get that. And you play around with it, and it shows you the percentages of projections of your portfolio value based on whatever returns. If you're going to get lower returns, okay, let's say you only get half of that, and you get 7%, well, what kind of returns might you end up with? And we do a stress test on that, and it will give you what would happen if you were lucky, i.e. you got all the good years first. What if you got all the bad years? You'd run out of money. In other words, if you're withdrawing a certain 4%, if you're withdrawing 4% per annum, and the bad years, even though you're averaging 7% per annum, but let's say you get a year where, because it's volatility 15%, you got, 0% year, but you still took your 4% out. Even though long-term you're going to get 7% per annum growth on the portfolio, because you've been taking money out in the bad years and the bad years came first, you end up with no money left. So that stress testing is what others don't show you. When they say to you, oh, a safe amount to withdraw is 4%, yeah, probably. But if you do that, depending on your expected annual return, there's a chance you end up with nothing. And that's what our free tool shows you, so that you don't get overconfident. You sort of work out what it might be, and also what the median scenario is. And it then breaks it down by numbers, and you can download the Excel and so on. So time to depletion in worst 10% of scenarios, 16 years. Okay, if you started off with just $250,000, and in the 10% of worst scenarios. So imagine if the stock market does incredibly well, then you, of course, wouldn't run out of money. But if it happened to do poorly, but you still got your average 7% per annum, because it's not a bank interest amount, you got 0% one year, maybe 14 the next. That's why it works out like that. Thank you, Julian. It's all on alpeshpatel.com/links. And again, safe withdrawal rate as well. It tells you what the safe withdrawal rate would be and the probabilities. Because remember that people go, why probabilities? Because it's not a bank account, which is guaranteed for the future. The stock market has a volatility. The fact of the matter is, even a bank account has a volatility. I mean, let's say you start with 100,000 and your bank is paying you 3.9%, sorry, call it 4% per annum. You might not realize it, and you're not even contributing anything, okay? And you can change life expectancy, withdrawal rate, and all the rest of it. And let's say you're not going to contribute anything. But even a bank account has volatility, because bank rates can go up and down. So when we do that and work out a safe withdrawal rate, you can work out that, oh, actually, I can take out 5.32%. I could take out a bit more or a bit less or whatever else. But there's volatility even around bank interest rates, and it shows you what would be left. Now, you might turn around and say, well, actually, I want to have more money left by the end because I leave it for my kids. So you can play around with this, all totally free. Play around with it until you get the kind of numbers that you think, oh, actually, I'll do this until this. But yeah, it's because there's volatilities and the markets aren't guaranteed in returns. That's why numbers can vary, and the 4% rule itself is not always the right one. Because the great thing is with this, you can at the end of the year start again and review it and say, well, actually now we know that I've only got this much money and this many years. Let's do it again. So you don't have to stick to, oh, it's got to be 4%, I'll be fine, especially if there's going to be a risk of you losing your money. One more tool, hopefully, to make IFAs a bit more redundant. Which model are you streaming from? TikTok Live? Mate, your camera quality is so good. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've had this camera for ages. It's a Sony A7 IV. And I've had it for ages, but I've completely changed my desk setup so that I can just use this as the webcam all the time. Normally, if you're interested in the setup, normally I use an Osmo Pocket 3 because you just click a button and it's on. But now I've set everything up in a way whereby I've upgraded the computer screens that I've got, so I now need fewer screens because I've got two 23-inch monitors instead of 21, so I can have more. So I need fewer screens basically, and therefore the camera can be at eye line, which is good as well. And I'm using a Shure microphone, and I use an Elgato XLR plugin. So you always use XLR if you're going to use audio, because it just gives you better audio. And yeah, it's a Sony A7 full frame. That's the trick. Full frame camera. Generally, thanks for the resources that you provided. My goal is for my children to. You know what? The best inheritance for your kids is education, and that's why I think it's really important what you just said, because you might not be able to give them money, and you feel guilty as a parent. You think, oh, I couldn't give them, the private jets and all the rest of it. Well, couldn't give them even 100,000, let's say, or 50,000, or 10,000 for their property or whatever. But bloody hell, if you can give them education. All I got from my parents was education, and my God, it's worth more than anything else in the world. More than anything else in the world. It is gold. It is platinum, is education. So give your kids that. You're laughing as well. Do it. And I've got, when we speak about education, I've got a free investment course and a free internship. The reason I do free internships, it's here. The reason I do, it'll be in here somewhere. The reason I do free internships is because for me, I was born in Leeds, and social mobility came about not because parents knew anybody in the city or they could open doors. They couldn't do any of that. It came about because of chance and luck, and I don't want it to be chance and luck for others. So I said, you can have an internship with my company. It's FCA regulated. You can then put it onto your CV, because the education that you're going to get. Oh, that's my team. They're in India at the moment. We've launched an India fund. And the team's out there, so I need to catch up with them. Let me put this down. So because you're able to then put that on your CV, because what you're learning, I'll show you what they learn. Okay, this is what they learn. Okay, there's a whole bunch of stuff. It's all completely free. I then know what they've learned because it's here, and an employer knows what they've learned. We've had people join JP Morgan as a result of this. Several people joined JP Morgan, amongst others, as a result of this, and they've thanked me. And what all this education does, including AI and investing, and I update it regularly, as you can see here, is it gives them the confidence and the knowledge, and they can do it in their own time whenever they want. And because they've then got on their LinkedIn, I've got work experience, Alpesh, Patel, and then I get asked the reference, and I say, yeah, this person did this work. If you want to see what work they did this. And yes, it was for me directly, the CEO. And yes, we're a regulated entity. So we have all that. And I've got articles on my LinkedIn as well, so do have a look there as well. And you'll see a whole bunch of stuff. How do you get the work experience? Oh, great question. So you just go to alpeshpatel.com/links. There's a link. It'll send an email to me and my team, and we'll approve you and give you access to getting the... So what's an internship? An internship work experience. What's work experience? Education by me, okay? It is seeing what I am talking about every day in the markets directly into your inbox as well. I do that through Telegram. It's all completely free. And let's say tomorrow morning you went and got a job somewhere, First of all, you won't be making the tea, doing my laundry, or doing photocopying, which is what popularly internships involved. Okay, you'll actually be doing and learning real stuff. So just go to alpeshpatel.com/links, and it ends up on your kids' CVs as well. And I've had so many. I think we must have done 500 at least. And we've had people get jobs. They put it on their CV. It appears on their LinkedIn. As I said, the employer looks at it and they call me and they say, what work did they do? And I say, here's the list. I said, do you want to argue about it? And they go, no, that bloody hell, that's great. Okay. And like I said, we've had people at JPM as well. Okay. So you can be anywhere in the world. You don't have to be in London. You know what the problem was in the past? Oh, only rich kids could get these kind of internships. Because guess what? My office is in Mayfair. And if you're going to be within commuting distance, you're going to be pretty rich. Okay. That's not fair. That's not right. And what if that week that you're in, I'm not? Because I don't feel like it, or because I'm traveling, or because I just need you to do a load of photocopying. Great. Well, that's a fake internship then, isn't it? You did a load of photocopying and brought me cups of tea. Instead, what if I said to you, look, this is what I'm looking at today. This is how to interpret it. This is what to look at. No, you worked at Morgan Stanley. You can get it. You can get it even if you worked at Morgan Stanley or anywhere else. It's open to anybody, any age. I've had people say, can I just do this because I just want to learn? And I say, yeah. You know, you don't have to do it just because you intend, to go into finance. Here's one of the best things that you're going to learn. How to build market building an online portfolio, diversification, picking brokers, gets better. It's quite a lot of stuff, by the way. Top quant funds, hedge fund CVs. So we've got actual CVs we show you, so you can see what your CV should look like. Hedge fund interview, hedge fund analyst, hedge fund books, hedge fund strategies, if you wanted to be in that. Investing banking resume, investment banking job interview. And I have personally created this myself. Okay, so your education will be structured and it's all free. All right, it's all free. And I've now got a little army of people who I think one day one of those is going to be chairman of JP Morgan or whatever. And I hope I'm alive to see it. And they'll say, this is where it all started. So anyway, you got a whole load of stuff. Everything you would need. CFA, portfolio management, my best advice on careers in finance, theory and practice. And guess what? They're all bite-sized and you can access it from an iPad, anything, and they're totally free. For life. There's no upsell. It's not like, when I said free, I meant for the first week. Nope, forever. When I said free, I meant just the first 3 modules. Nope, all of it, forever. Okay, and it's all there as well. And there, meet your mentor. That's an old photo. Jeez, I'm standing above that. Boy, have I aged. 10 years old, that photo. It was a tough 10 years. So yeah, you can do all of that. And there'll also be free downloads of Mind of a Trader, amongst others. These are past and present paying clients of my services and my company and all the rest of it. So yeah, it's all free and it's all on there. How did I transition from barrister to investor? I was an investor first. So it was actually how did I transition from investing to becoming a barrister? I decided after university to go to the bar. The way I transitioned is I took the plunge. I just left and invested on my own account with very little money, and then gradually... slowly, friends and family built it up, and then eventually launched an asset management company, but it's friends and family. Age like wine. Yeah, that could be wine with a H, because I wine a lot more now, but I'm teetotal, so I take the sentiment, absolutely. No, all free. Absolutely all free. Well, because social mobility. How can I do my bit? You know, we all whinge about, country could be better, could be... Well, then you look at yourself, you say, wait a minute, I've had so many privileges and I'm so full of resource. I have so many resources. How can I do my bit to make the world a better place? And I get a dopamine hit. Why do I do it? Selfish reasons. I get one hell of a dopamine hit when I get an email from someone saying, thanks to you, I got into Oxford University. Yeah, I need to print those up one day, or whatever it is. So purely selfish reasons. It keeps me relevant. It means as an old man, I've not fallen by the wayside and become irrelevant, and the kids don't just walk by going, he's invisible. Who the hell's he? Go away, granddad. Time to shuffle off. No, I'm still relevant. I'm useful. I've got purpose in life. And as a teetotal vegetarian who doesn't party, it means I've got something to do. Because if I wasn't teetotal and I wasn't a vegetarian, I'd be out drinking the best wine, having the best steaks, and partying around the world. Sadly, I don't do any of those 3 things. This is my Chateau Lafite 1971. I think it was a good year. Okay, so that's the reason. I'll come back to that rich thing in a second. How do you help people get into Oxford? Drop me an email. I have a little bucket of resources, which is interview preparation, questions that they're going to ask you. And for some of the students, if I think they've got a good chance, I do the interview prep. I sort of do a one-to-one live interview with them and a couple of times to get them. I give them a reading list, Q&A. By the way, if it's philosophy, politics, and economics, if it's mathematics, I might not be so useful. Obviously, so it's more PPE. Just sort of get them up to speed. And I don't think the colleges have anything with it. I was a fellow at Corpus Christi College, so hopefully I've got some insights. Anything for impact investing, blended finance, looking to switch? Yeah, there's that website, isn't there? 80,000 hours that I always talk about. 1,000 hours. I think it's 80,000 hours. Yeah, this one's quite good. Make a difference. That one I think is worth looking at. By the way, I've also got a public Telegram channel with 4,000 subscribers where all of this stuff, so you don't have to wait for a random TikTok. You can download Telegram and it's all free, these updates, where what I've just told you now is on those and they just appear on your phone, including a Today in the Markets with Alpesh, okay, which is rather good, I should say, if I say so myself. The sun's out. It's such a lovely day. I need to get out, including things like the portfolio stress test. It'll all be on Telegram. So all you have to do is just click your Telegram. Oh, right, it's there. All totally free, okay, just so you know, with no plans to ever charge anybody for any of that. So anything I see on the markets, which I think is interesting, any blog articles, they'd all appear in one place. So if you're thinking, where's the one place for all of it? There it is, okay? And then from that, it might take you to the actual blog article online, but at least you know where it is. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that that's visible and seen as well. My favorite watch, as in watch to wear, the only expensive watch I've ever bought was a Baume & Mercier, which I rarely wear. I wear if I've got black tie function, but normally I just wear that. I wear these. I don't know if you can see those. Can you see those? Because when you're an old man, you want something to tell you your blood pressure. I don't have blood pressure, but I don't want to get it. And something to tell you whether you've recovered and whether you need more sleep. So I'll give you an example. This morning, I got up at 7 to help my son get to school. So he left with his mum at 8:15. I'm afraid I went back to bed until about 11 because I had a migraine yesterday. I'd done too much gym, too much exercise, and gone to bed at 1 o'clock working for 3 nights, which I don't normally do something stupid like that. So I had to go back to sleep and I had to cancel some meetings. So that's what that Whoop thing tells me. But I'm old, so it should tell me that. Don't do what I do, kids. Look after your health. I sometimes stay up late just because I'm like a mad scientist. So when I created these, this was me staying up late. This was me staying up late. Okay, and when we created that thing, and that's the problem. You sort of sometimes stay up late and damage your health. So I had to sleep in today, which is really bad because you don't want to mess your, especially because it's the last day of summer. It's such a gorgeous day. But just so you know, where do we access that course? alpeshpatel.com/links. Okay, it's all on that. It'll say there's a link to everything I'm going to talk about because I give so much stuff away that's free. The links are on there. What's the best way to become a hedge fund manager? I'm an apprentice at JP Morgan for wealth management. Have a look at the course material. It tells you, it answers your question in detail, including interview questions, which are the best hedge funds, application letters, interview prep. So, and how do you find which are the biggest hedge fund managers? So have a look at the course material that I just linked you to, this one. It'll take you through it in, guide to hedge funds and all of that, and it'll get you into the take you through the interview stuff and how to get into it. So, what do Brevin Howard want? What do AHL want? What do Winton Capital want? All of those things. Okay, yeah, that's the one. I'll see if I can pin this comment. That's where it is. The links. We've got a good number. Thoughts on shareholder activism. So I've worked once with Elliot, the fund manager, which is an active one. I'm not an activist, so it's not the kind of investing I do. So I'm not too bothered with the activist side of stuff. I think it's good if you do it. It's not my thing. It's all I can say. It's not my thing at all. So I can only focus on the things which are my things. I would say. Okay. Any other questions? We've been going for, I'm going to try and keep this to 25 minutes, I'm afraid, only because it's a nice sunny day and it's a Friday. And like I said, I had this awful migraine yesterday, so I need to go and do that. But I thought I'd do this because I wanted to test out the new computer setup as well and make sure it's all working smoothly. So I thought I'd test it as well, including the new camera. Well, it's not a new camera; it's an old one. Are you chats live date? No, they're sort of when and if I've got the time to do them, then I like to do them. Thank you, Arzu. What was the you shown called before? alpeshpatel.com/links. It should be on the screen somewhere because I thought I put the link, or at least the link in bio. Oh, maybe it's not. But yeah, I thought it was. alpeshpatel.com/links should have appeared. Apologies if it has not. But yeah, it's meant to be there somewhere. Quick question. Do you do Monte Carlo simulation? I do, but you know the big problem with Monte Carlo simulations is fat tails. So just be warned. They're okay, but there's a danger to them, and they're fine. Okay. The name of the course, it's this one. So you go to alpeshpatel.com/links. Actually, let me move this lower so you can see. Actually, you can't see the URL, can you? There, you can see the URL. And it'll say free course somewhere. Where does it say it? There it is, free investing course. There you go, free investing course. It's that one. The second one down, free investing course. You can't see my mouse. I don't use Polymarket. I've looked at it. It looks fun, but again, there's only so much you can do. Any advice for someone who's struggling to find some relevant work experience in data analytics? No, it's a bit niche for me, other than the obvious advice of, well, I do two things. One, find out which are the top 100 data analytics firms and then apply to them. 100, yeah, 100. And secondly, I'd ask ChatGPT that question. That's what I would do, I'm afraid. I'm a plumber, how can you help me? I'd probably say with the education on investing, so I'd probably say first thing I'd say, look up what is a SIP, what is a ISA, because at least you can then save tax-free. In a SIP, you can, you get your tax back that you're paying if you've got the funds left over. So I'd probably start off with that. Is the CFA worth it? If your ambition is to become the CEO of an asset management company, a bank, yeah, I think it's worth it. If it is just a industry hop, then probably not worth it. Which link should you go to finding out more about hedge fund jobs? So once you go to the investing course here, then it's investing-champions.com, okay, is where you'll find out. And at the bottom, it tells you about all the jobs. Investing-champions.com. So let me see if I can reply to you directly. Yes, I can. But all of these links are on alpeshpatel.com/links because there's so many URLs that I put it all into one. Investingchampions.com. There you go. Okay. CFP. Remind me, what's CFP? Alpesh, can you tell me about your internship program? Yeah, it's free. It's open to anybody anywhere in the world. You go through a structured program of education in your own time whenever you want. I see what you've done. You also see daily comments from me on what's happening in the markets right into your phone. So it's as if you're sitting next to me. And the entire internship program you can put onto your CV and put me as a referee and that you were interning with the CEO of an FCA regulated asset management company. So my LinkedIn is here. Those are the benefits. How do you do it? alpeshpatel.com/links. It's there. You'll email my team. They will explain everything I've just said to you. And then it's that. Oh, certified financial planner designation. Thoughts on that? No, I think they're all going to be redundant because of AI. If you're looking to follow the money, okay, you want to because you're interested in money or management or whatever, go for the highest paid possible jobs, which are most likely to be at, and go for the biggest names and the biggest banks. What you've done as a certified financial planner is said, I'm going to go several tiers down into some kind of tiny niche, and then for the rest of my life, I'm going to be worried about my job and when I'm going to be sacked. Okay. instead, I would say it's like if you're going to be a plumber, I'd say, right, Goldman Sachs looking for people in their utilities department, you know, and I'd rather be a plumber at Goldman Sachs. So certified financial planner, not there. Have Rootbridge ever taken on any person interns? Yeah, in Zurich. We're headquartered out of Zurich. So they have, and they do, and it's Zurich for that. I'm based out of London, and I take them on through the program that I just showed you. What's your view on having a trust fund to protect your assets? I'm not the trust fund expert. I did trust law as a barrister, and yeah, that's how you protect your assets. If you're worried about divorce or your kids doing something stupid, it's exactly what you do. You create a trust. So it's sort of like saying, what's your opinion on, I don't know, using cars to move? Well, there's alternatives. But I'd probably say it's the easiest way to do it. What camera am I using? A Sony A7 IV. Normally, I use a Osmo Pocket because they're easier, but I think I'll continue using. So I've had this for over a year. It's a full frame camera. I've had it for over a year. The lens is a fixed, what do they call it? Fixed. It's a prime lens. And I should hopefully be in your focal length. So yeah, thank you. I'm glad a couple of people have noticed the camera because that obviously means it's worth my while doing it. I have a couple of Elgato lights back there. I've used the background with some hue lights just to create a bit of sort of balance, atmosphere, whatever. It's not particularly good in the background. I appreciate that. But then again, this is not my job. And I use a Shure microphone connected using XLR because that gives better audio. And I tend to use stuff from Elgato, Elgato, but I also like DJI, and I also like Insta, as in Insta 360. Those are the three sort of main companies that I like for all of this content stuff. Which section of the course is best to start with? The beginning. The first section is the best one to start with. And if you find it a bit dull or boring, or you think, oh no, this is too basic, then just move to the next one. It's done in bite size. So it's really good for that reason, because it's done in bite size. And you can scroll through the rest of it. So you don't have to do it one at a time if you don't want. Because you might say, do you know what, Alpesh? I want to start off with this. I really like this. And it's all self-contained. So you can. It's not like at school where you had to start at different ones. Cheaper than A7, I'd probably say any SLR. So any SLR. I got the full frame, but honestly, they'll all look rather good. And there's a chap I quite like, Ali Abdal. You've probably heard of him. And he lost his, or it broke or something in transit, and he got a cheap alternative. And he said, oh my God, it's just as good. So it's just as good. It's just that when you don't drink and you don't eat expensive meals because you're vegetarian, so I mean, bloody mushrooms cost how much mushrooms cost, you know. What do you spend your money on? Well, I thought, I'll get a decent camera because I'm going to use it every day for webinars and all the rest of it. So I've had it for I think over a year, and it's the first time I've started using it just generally for TikTok because the setup was all different. And I got some new screens from HP. My screens are 23-inch HP, ultra high definition. Full FHD, full high definition is also equally good. What made me become vegetarian? There was a wallet with a sticker in it that my uncle gave me, and it said, what was it? Yesterday I was in a field. Today I am on your plate. Your knife, my life. Yeah, so that sort of made me feel a bit bad. And culturally, I was born in Leeds, but culturally I'm from a region of India, Gujarat, where there tends to be a prevalence of vegetarians. And so raised by my grandma, she was vegetarian. So it was just, you copy what you're surrounded by. It wasn't for economic reasons. How would I go get an internship in a hedge fund or PE in London in the first year of summer? Well, a lot of them, look at their website. So find the top 50 hedge funds, PE firms in London, and then look at their websites and apply through those. That's how it is. That's how it's done, through the websites. They'll have a internship program. Okay, as well. Thank you, Arzu. Finished a BSc degree. Pursuing CFA is the best way to get into a hedge fund. Yeah, I think economics with a CFA shows that you're tried and tested. It's a pretty usual route, and so it's a good route to go down. So why not? Why not do it that way? Seems to make sense. It's a very healthy diet with lots of grains. It can be, should be. Sometimes I get it wrong. Would you know Amir Capital? No, I'm afraid I don't. But then don't read into that they're bad. It just might be that. I tend to focus on what I need to know. So sometimes I don't know things that I don't necessarily need to know either. Okay, so I said I'd try and keep it to 25 minutes. I think I've overshot 32. I'm going to go just because it's a nice day, and I've got a ton of work to do, which I think I'm going to do later tonight when it's a bit darker, because I think I want to enjoy the sun. Life's too short to... But I've enjoyed speaking to you guys. And normally I would be just sitting at my computer and doing nothing else. I'm from Karamsad, if you know Karamsad. Thank you very much. No, I'm glad. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Join the course. The website is, I'll just give you for the course material. Well, actually, I'll give you all the website. It's alpeshpatel.com/links. The course is on the second one. It's completely free. Will always be free. It's updated pretty much weekly, and it also will show you where the Telegram channel is, which is totally free as well. It's all on alpeshpatel.com/links. Once you go there, you will see all the goodies, all the best things I can think of. The free investment course, the portfolio performance reports, daily market insights, free pension review if you're into that, free download of my book, free download of my other book, Mind of a Trader, free join me on LinkedIn, obviously that's free, pension calculator, which is free, safe pension withdrawal rate calculator, which is free, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, there's a ton of stuff, probably too much stuff on here, my God. Including my TED Talks, If You're So Clever, Why Aren't You Rich? And my other TED Talk, The Mind of Wealth, What Top Traders Can Teach Us About Achieving Success. There's a third TED Talk that I've done, which I think was, If You're So Rich, Why Aren't You Happy? So I'm pretty sure there's another TED Talk in there somewhere. And you've got my YouTube channel. Do go on that. I highly recommend it. It's got a lot of, if you're into the videos.
You're a trader. Are you making money?
Well, I've been on here since, I think it was about January, and I said I think we're going to probably hit $100 before the year's out.
I do remember that. That's true.
There you go. And so it's been a one-way bet.
That's me yakking on the BBC, and you can see a whole bunch. Now, there's three things to start on this. You've got Fix Your Pension, for those at that age, weekly market update, investing basics, okay? And then the rest is just TV appearances and shorts and all those kind of things. And this, you can join 250,000 other people. Earlier today, this was showing me how much I make on here per month. And I was thinking, I don't make that a month because I don't do adverts. I don't commercialize my thingies. But it showed it. And I don't know where it is because I turned it off. Ooh, we've had a drop in views. I better do some more. I don't know where it's gone. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. Anyway, earlier it showed me that, oh, maybe it's this. Oh, here it is. That's not what I earn on here because I don't do adverts. Maybe it's what I would have earned. I tend to do about 7 uploads a week, as you can see. Subscriber ranks, I'm nowhere. Views gained 52,000 in the past 7 days, which is 21% down. Ooh. Oh, it's because I didn't do a stock market update last week. Anyway, so there we go. I made a system. I'm currently down 20% in 15 trade days. Well, that's not good. Oh, done 20% in 15 trades. Well, that's good. Thoughts on just putting all your savings into NASDAQ and just living off the returns? The problem with that is people won't do it. Because what they will do is they will panic. So if you want to look at that, you can portfolio stress test exactly what you've just said. You know, you can put your 500,000, let's say, into NASDAQ. Okay, you can put in your expected annual return because you presumably think it's good. But let's say it wasn't that. Well, let's say it was. I don't know. Let's say you thought it was 20%. Let's get rid of inflation because you're optimistic. Let's say you're, you know, all of this. Years to retirement, you're going to have 30. And let's say the volatility, because it's NASDAQ, is, I don't know, 20. Let's put it at 22.5%. And you want to live off that. Well, let's run the stress test then on your NASDAQ thing. Well, there you go. Worst decile depletion, time to depletion, worst 10% of cases in 15 years, you'll run out of money. Okay? And this will show you what will happen. Now, in the best case, you won't run out of money. Charts here are the charts of what can happen. Because obviously the NASDAQ isn't an interest rate, which is guaranteed to the future of 20% or 15%. It's got volatility. So if you got some of the worst years first, even though the long-term average is high, and you're withdrawing from that, your growth will be less. So if you're unlucky, you might end up only with 5 million. Oh, it's wonderful. But in 10% of the times, people run out of money. So you might say, well, okay, that's fine. Let's say you wanted to withdraw 10%. Let's see what happens. Let's run the stress test. You might, in the worst 10% of cases, run out of money in 9 years, but you might not. And if you're lucky, you'll do loads more. Okay, so you can play around with it and you can say, yeah. So the answer is yes, you can do it. The problem's going to be the stress testing. If you get some bad years and you take the money out, you're more likely to panic and give up on it. Not only that, you might be put in a position where you've got no choice but to give up on it because you needed the money. Where can you find this? It's my free thing on alpeshpatel.com/links, and it's the portfolio stress tester, which is on there, and it's completely free. So alpeshpatel.com/links. alpeshpatel.com/links. Okay. You're right. I've got to go. No, Tammy said, go outside. It's going to get dark soon. You're absolutely right. I'm going to go. I've got to stop talking. Okay, guys. Thank you all very much. How the hell do you end a live? Nobody knows. End live. There we go. Thank you all very much.